Hi Aquarius, welcome to your mid-month reading. And this is a reading for Aquarius Sun and Aquarius Rising. And the reason why I'm not doing it for Aquarius Moon this month is because I want to have an AstroChat with you. I have my laptop here with the chart of the moment, and I'm gonna be talking a bit about the astrology going on right now and just pull a few cards. So it's not gonna be a long reading, nothing too fancy, nothing too complicated, just a quick energy reading for us to take a look at the mid-month. And the reason why I want to do this is because at the moment in which I'm recording this video, Mercury has just entered Aquarius and joined Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. And I talked more about the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in another video. I'm gonna link it up here because in there I talked more in depth with about how it's affecting each of the zodiacs. But right now Mercury has just joined those two planets in Aquarius, and Mars has just entered Taurus. So Mars is squaring all those three in there in Aquarius. And square energies are already very tense, very frustrating, because squares are planets in signs of the same modality, but they have different polarities and they have different elements and they are just doing things in a different style. So for instance, here we have fixed signs, which are quite stubborn by nature. So imagine different planets in different fixed signs, and they are pulling like, I want things my way. No, I want things my way. No, but we have to do it my way. So it's a constant pull, and that can be very stressful. That can be very tense. And we can feel that now in the beginning of the month, right? I think that the energies are really going to improve throughout the month of January, more towards the end of the month, beginning of February. I think that things will be much better. But right now, everything's tense because of this square, okay? This square is just exacerbating it. And we are going to talk a bit about it. So Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius is happening in your first house. So either your ascendant or your natural first house if you have the sun in Aquarius. And Mars in Taurus is happening in the fourth house. So Mars in Taurus, Mars is not comfortable in Taurus because Mars rules the sign of Scorpio, which is the opposite sign. Mars in Taurus moves very slowly, but Mars likes to move fast. Mars likes to charge. Mars is energetic. Mars is how we go after things, is our style of fighting for what we want. And the house in which it comes is where we are putting that effort, where we are showing up. Okay, so Mars in Taurus in the fourth house wants to show up to the family connection, to our heritage, to our ancestors. How do we connect with our parents? How do we connect with our childhood? How are we nurtured? How do we nurture ourselves? How do we nurture other people? That all happens in the fourth house. And Mars in Taurus in there wants to focus on that, and it's quite stubborn. So we have a lot of energy being placed in our family. How do we deal with our family? How do we connect with them? How is the relationship with the home environment? But the thing is, Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius in the first house say, right now, we need to expand how you see yourself. How do you connect with yourself? Because the first house, the ascendant, is the doorway to the environment. So look at it like this. The birth chart is your inner world, is your inner workings, is a map to your inner workings, okay? And the ascendant is the doorway that connects that inner world with the outside world. So how you connect with your environment, how you perceive the environment, and how the environment perceives you, that passes through that filter, which is the ascendant. And with Saturn and Jupiter in there, we are being asked to transform that. We are being asked to transform how we see ourselves. Okay? Who do we think we are? Are we who we really think we are? Are we something else? How do we connect with our individuality? That's all happening in your first house. And the first house is the first house, as the name says. That's stupid, but as the name says, it's the first house. So it comes before any other house. So before we focus on our family connections, our heritage, our home life, our family, we need to understand how we connect with ourselves. Okay? So Mars is saying this, like, I want to understand my relationship with my home environment, my relationship with my childhood, my relationship with my upbringing. I want to be nurtured. I want to nurture others. I want to connect with that home life, with that family feeling. But Saturn and Jupiter wants you to connect with yourself first, wants you to transform yourself. And we have here the Death card for you, which is perfect for this. Because all these planets, they just came from your 12th house in Capricorn. I talk about it in this Jupiter-Saturn video. It just came from your 12th house. So it has been stirring up things in your subconscious mind. And that's a transformation. That's a deep regeneration process, the death. It's Pluto. This is a card of Pluto. And you have Pluto now in your 12th house. Coming into your first house in 3 years or so. So this death of the self is being asked from you. You're being asked to abandon an old version of yourself and embracing this new version. Saturn and Jupiter in your first house wants to transform your sense of self. But your energy is being put in your connections with your family, being put in the connection with your upbringing, with your childhood. And yes, of course, that is a big part of what builds us, of what makes us who we are. And that's why we can't abandon either of them. All houses are important, but we need to learn how to make the energy between them flow. How can we integrate that square? Because a square is all about integrations. Squares are all about integrations. We have squares and they are a huge potential for transformation. They hold the key for the deepest transformations. Charts that have lots of squares, they are very hard to deal with. But when we learn how to master them, those are the people who accomplish huge things in life. Because the energy that you need to put to integrate a square will really make you ascend. Death. The death of the self. So how can you do that? How can you connect both? How can you make both those energies flow right now? And I think that at this moment, 7 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. I feel this big feeling coming from you of me against the world. I see this very antagonistic energy, as if you see that you are against the world. It's like you and other people outside of you trying to put you down, and it doesn't need to be like that. They are just tools. People on the outside, they are just tools to help you master yourself, right? That transformation going on in the first house. You meet yourself through the eyes of others sometimes. People act as mirrors. They reflect, they project, and we project and then they reflect back at us. So people, they are reflexes and they are tools to help us in our inner transformations. They don't need to be obstacles. They are only obstacles if you see them as obstacles. And right now I feel like you see them as obstacles. I see this huge inner feeling to fight. You know, with this 3 of Pentacles here in the reverse, it's like you don't trust people right now. You just don't trust that you can trust others. So I see this big energy of you against the world. But it doesn't need to be like that. If you learn how to integrate, focus on your own sense of self and just allow the relationships in your life to flow and fulfill whatever purpose they have, you don't need to focus on that so much. You don't need to struggle with that so much. But the transformation starts within you, first house. So let's get some oracle cards just to finish your reading. Truth be told. And what I like about this image is that there's an owl and there's a window and you can see the sky through it. So for me, this is it actually represents a lot of that ascendant, like that doorway to the outside world and passing through you, the information passing through your sense of reality, coming in and coming out. It's very important for you right now to work on that doorway, on that communication, on that filter. Do you really perceive reality as reality is? Or are you projecting your own fears into it? Your own judgments? How accurate do you view the outside world? How clean is this doorway that is connecting you? Because if this filter is dirty, you're gonna see the outside world through this dirt. It's gonna color whatever comes into. It's important to clear that filter so that you see reality in a more accurate way with discernment. That's part of this self-transformation going on here. Wow. And I just said that. What did I say about the judgment? About having judgment with your environment. This card is called Free from Judgment, Free to Love. Right now, it's very important to transform the judgments you have with yourself and with other people. And that doesn't mean that you're gonna look at everybody and see them as lovey-dovey, But seeing things accurately and understanding the process behind what moves other people as well. And that doesn't mean that you need to accept them into your life, but just understand the real motives, the real workings, both yours and others. But it starts with your own. So free from judgment, also your own self-judgment, the judgment that you have with yourself, and free to love, being free to love your own self as well. Oops. Koi fish spirit, there is always enough. There's no need to fear scarcity as well. You don't need to close yourself off in that first house because, not just because of what you're afraid of what might come in, but you might be afraid of what might escape. Are you afraid of giving your energy and your love as well? Are you as afraid of giving as you are of receiving? There's always enough, both coming in and coming out. Especially with this free to love. I feel here that some of you might be too afraid of giving love and not having enough for yourself. Are you afraid that if you give too much to other people, you won't have for yourself? And are you afraid that if you don't accept something that is coming to you, you won't receive anything better? It's important as well right now to free yourself from this scarcity mindset, both coming in and coming out. Both ways, whatever way fits better for you here. to learn how to collaborate. And also collaborate with yourself for your own benefit. Okay, Aquarius, that's all I have for you. And I'll see you next month. Take care. Bye-bye.